Alright guys, so today we're going to check out the brand new Bose Soundlink Flex Bluetooth speaker. Now I actually own a bunch of different Bose products, I've tested many different Bose products, and I'm usually walking away feeling like I've spent a lot more money on the name or the marketing, and I feel like there's usually better options out there for the price that I'm spending. But with this new Bose Flex speaker, this may actually be the first time I don't feel a Bose product is overpriced. Because the retail price on it is $150, which just puts it $20 more than the JBL Flip 5, which is about the same size as this speaker. But the Bose Flex actually replaced my Bose Revolve Plus speaker, which came in at $330. So that's quite the price gap, and I don't feel like I'm missing anything by going with the Flex. But we're going to talk about some of the features that this speaker has. We're going to talk about the sound quality and see why I think it's worth the $150 price tag. Now, first off, if you are looking to check this speaker out, it does come in 3 different colors. As you can see that I have the black model here, but it's also available in a white smoke and a stone blue. And what they're really advertising as the main feature about this speaker is PositionIQ. And really the best way to explain that is no matter how your speaker is turned, if it's facing you this way, or if you have it hanging and it's facing you this way, they're trying to optimize the sound so that it sounds the same no matter how you're listening to it. And I would say that for the most part, you can tell what it's trying to do, but you can still also tell, depending on how you have your speaker, if you have it laying on a flat surface or laying on a couch, it's still going to affect the sound quality in some way. Because if I laid this speaker flat on a couch, it's going to cover up the transducer port on the back, which is basically kind of handicapping your bass a little bit. And if I laid it on a flat surface, it's going to cause it to seem like it has more bass because the bass is then kind of bouncing off that flat surface. So as far as positional audio goes, you can tell what it's doing. But do keep in mind, depending on how your speaker is turned, it still will have certain aspects of the sound quality affected. Now, the Flex is labeled as an outdoor speaker. It does come in rated at IP67, so it is dustproof and waterproof, which that's a huge plus because the Revolve Plus speaker that I had wasn't. So I didn't feel comfortable taking it in a lot of different situations. But the Flex you could take to the beach, you could take by the pool. You don't have to worry if you actually drop it into water. So that's actually a very nice feature to have. And then as far as charging the speaker, it does have a USB-C port on the side. You do get a USB-C cable, and the battery life is going to get you around 12 hours on a single charge. Now that's listening at about 50 to 60% volume. Obviously, if you listen to it at 100% volume, you're going to get closer to around 9 hours. But that's easily going to get most people through a day. The 12 hours just means you can go out for a huge chunk of the day and not necessarily worry about charging the speaker. Now, this speaker is using Bluetooth 5.1. And the connection between your device and the speaker, you're looking at getting around 30 feet of distance. So that's not as good as I've seen on other speakers. I've seen 50 feet, I've seen 100 feet. But the 30 feet on this one is actually solid. I could go throughout my house and it didn't matter that there were walls in between. I had a stable connection. I didn't have dropouts. So I never had to really worry about that. Now, another nice feature is it does work with the Bose Connect Plus app. And that's just going to keep this speaker updated. It does allow you to go in and change the auto sleep feature because as it is out of the box, if you don't have sound playing out of it for 20 minutes, it will just power the speaker down. But again, you can go in the settings and change how long you want it to do that. And then the only other thing that the app does is allow you to basically party link up to other Bose speakers. So I could connect this to my Bose soundbar and put this at the back of the room, and then I'm having sound just reach across the whole room instead of just coming from right in front of me out of my soundbar. So this is another feature I like about this speaker, and the fact that it's so small, you could just sit it behind your head at the couch, and it just makes things sound a little more exciting. Now, as far as the design and the build quality, like I said at the beginning, this is about the size of the JBL Flip 5 speaker. It is flat, basically on the top and the bottom, so it's very easy to grip because it does have a silicone back. Now on the front, it does have a mesh grill. Now everything up front is steel, So it feels really sturdy while using this. It does have quite a bit of weight to it. It just makes it feel like it's not a cheap speaker. There is actually a strap if you do want to hang it on anything, like if you're in a workshop or if I'm at the batting cages and I just want to, hang this on the fence itself. Now, as far as the controls on this speaker, everything is located up top, and it is also on the silicone part of the speaker. And my one complaint about this, though, is it is kind of hard to push these buttons. I felt like it should be a little more sensitive than it is. But the buttons you do have up top is your power button. You have your volume up and down. You have your multifunction button in the center, which is allowing you to play, pause, skip your tracks forward, and go backwards. You can also press and hold that button to summon your smart assistant. And then you have your Bluetooth pairing button at the end. And this allows you to just quickly switch from one device to the other instead of having to go into the settings of your phone or your computer and just disconnect and reconnect. So it's really convenient just to have all that right there on the speaker. Now, if you're going to use the Flex for phone calls, if somebody calls you and you just answer the phone call on the speaker, I felt like the mics did a really good job of picking up my voice. I felt like it sounded somewhat natural. You can tell that there's still a little bit of digital noise there. But you guys can be a judge by listening to a test here. Alright guys, so here is a mic test using the Bose Soundlink Flex. Again, this is a very impressive mic. It's picking up my voice really well. So I kind of think it's the same mics that maybe they use in the Bose 700, but this is what it would sound like if you were to take a call. So now let's talk about the sound, because the sound is what sold me on this speaker. I do want to play you guys some samples here so you can kind of hear it. Now, obviously, it's not going to be a true representation of what you would hear in person, but you're still going to be able to hear the vocals, and hopefully you'll be able to pick up the bass that it has. But I do want you guys to kind of get a sense of what this speaker is capable of.
Oh, baby, baby, good at thinking out loud, but not too good at keeping promises, no.
Now that you've heard some of the samples, it's really just a very impressive speaker. And I was so impressed with the bass that was coming out of the Flex, because it's not a large speaker, and most small speakers are not giving you a lot of bass. They may be able to turn up loud, but you always felt like either the bass was going to distort or you just weren't getting enough of it. And I was able to turn the Flex up at max volume, and I didn't have any distortion with the bass. It didn't cause the mids or the treble or anything to crackle. It just sounded loud and clear, and having that punch in a speaker this size is what made me basically really happy about using this product. I mean, I switched between pop and hip hop. I listened to a lot of metal, and this speaker just keeps up, because some speakers, when you switch over to metal where you have the double bass of the drums and the guitars and the vocalists, and you just have all of this stuff going on, that's where some speakers start to dip. And the Flex is heavily focused on the mids, so vocalists and guitars and everything just sounded so up front, where a lot of speakers just don't tend to hit that mark. And the treble is definitely detailed, but I still go back to the bass, because I think that's the one thing that surprised me the most about this speaker. I thought I would be sacrificing bass by going from the Revolve Plus over to this smaller speaker. And again, I didn't feel like I sacrificed anything other than the 360 audio that the Revolve Plus had. So my overall conclusion is I walked away from testing this feeling like I'm getting my money's worth. And I'm impressed by being able to have a speaker this small and it compete with larger speakers. I don't have to worry about messing it up, no matter if I'm using it outdoors or in any kind of situation, which is a plus. And I actually, right now, would probably say this is one of the best speakers that you can buy for $150 or under. In fact, maybe even under $200. And this is one of the best options out there, in my opinion. There's just not a whole lot of cons other than the button pressing. That is kind of annoying. I I really wish they could change that. But outside of that, there's not really any complaints other than, you know, maybe wait till it goes on sale and get it for $130. Which is going to bring it down to the JBL Flip 5 price. But if you want something that's a little bit better than the JBL, I would definitely lean you in the direction of the Bose Flex. But guys, that's my video on the brand new Bose Soundlink Flex. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Thank you so much for checking out all the other videos. And as always, make sure to stay tuned for more.